Aside Morrison, and this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. What we talking about bass, I'm talking about chips, talking about rings, you ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Welcome to This Week in Cardio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez, soon-to-be movie star, I'm sure. What's up, Jeffrey?
Nothing much. It's funny you mentioned that. I actually got booked on a couple of background roles this past week. They were pretty long shoots, but it wasn't too bad. It was pretty fun.
So do you have to fly out to California for it, or are they local, or what?
No, yeah, believe it or not, they had casting call out here in Texas. I guess there's a couple of shows that film out here. Obviously, it saves money on taxes and stuff like that. So not as big, not as popular, but there's a show every here and there. Like this wasn't the show, but like Texas
Not as big,
Walker
not as popular,
was films down here. Well, actually Austin area. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Well, we always like to see when you get involved with something, obviously, right?
I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna show up. I think it was like a wide shot. The scene was, and I actually played it was a migrant. So the scene was we were crossing a river. It was a Texas Mexico border. So we were crossing the river and all kinds of special effects and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up being a little speck on the screen, but
all right. So so that's your range or whatever they call that, where you're Hispanic or Asian or whatever.
Pretty much. Yeah, I actually it was specifically Chinese migrant.
Okay.
Which I made the mistake of saying I'm here as a Chinese immigrant, but I guess immigrant and a migrant are two. Well, they're similar, but they're different, and
they are different.
And I got schooled on that, but it wasn't too bad.
That's hilarious. All right, so I got my chats up and working, I think. Yeah, there they go. Propaganda videos from Spencer. So you're up on propagandas. It says, why does it say happy birthday, Jeff? Is it actually your birthday?
It is my birthday today, yes.
Oh, well, happy birthday, sir.
And out of all the places in the world, I am here on the podcast today.
I did not know it was your birthday. You know why I didn't know? Because I never go on Facebook except for the day.
Never go on Facebook.
Except for the day before. So I was talking to Joseph before the podcast here. We've been trying to build up the TW.I.C.A TikTok account and the and what's the other one?
Another one?
Yeah, Instagram. I've been working on Instagram,
okay, yeah.
And Steve Willis says it's his birthday also, or his daughter's birthday.
His
sorry,
daughter's birthday.
Yep, it's his daughter's birthday. So, but anyway, so I've been trying to share that. We're building that up. Steve says happy birthday to you too.
Cool, thanks.
Anyway,
Happy birthday, Jeff.
Thank you.
So since this weekend, I started trying to build it. I went from 2 followers till we got about 100 now in a couple of days.
Nice.
So that's not bad, right? Because, it started out I was getting like 1 or 2 at a time. And then I turned it on today right before the show, and I got 25 new ones. So
I think you got to do those fancy dances.
The fancy dances?
Or that, yeah. I mean, that'll get you some views there, Doug, and then get some followers. Just like that.
Joe says I need to talk about weight loss. The time I lost my 60 pounds in 4.5 months.
Now you blow up overnight.
Just tag weight loss. Lord of Base saying happy birthday to you too.
Thanks. Thank
So
you.
first off, let's thank our sponsors for today's show. We got Badass Sounds by Steve, E-Box Design and Install, and Stolman Transportation LLC. If you guys have an opportunity to support someone who supports the things you guys like to see, watch, and do, be part of, please support the sponsors of our show. All right. So speaking of like sponsors, well, Team Send It used to sponsor shows. They don't do DB drag shows anymore. They don't sponsor them. But they do have different branches, right? So they have Sacramento and they also have Reno. Our guest today is, as Rosa puts it, what's up, Joe? So TSI, that's Team Send It Joe. If you guys were back here back in the days when Lucky and I used to run this podcast, you hear all the time about how Team Send It has 400 guys. Joe is the Reno guy. And so speaking of that, how many people are in your chapter, Joe?
So we've got about 12 right now. We're trying to keep it kind of close, kind of small. Really just people who are competing, and yeah, it's harder than one would think to grow it, especially out here. There's not Nevada's geographically spread out, and so we really got Reno, but we are the Nevada chapter, so we've got a guy out in Elko as well, and I think we're talking about some people down in Vegas.
Okay.
Not Vegas loud though, not Vegas style, but junior Vegas style.
All right. Rosa, wishes you a happy birthday too.
Thanks, Rosa.
Yep, SQ Sounds back in there with the happy birthday. So Joe, the last two shows I've done in Reno, it's been a minute since I've had good turnout in Reno, and I don't necessarily. Moses says, "Oh, it ain't easy to grow teams." Anyway, so my last two shows in Reno, Joe and the Team Send It crew really stepped up. They brought new people to the shows. Like we say at the end of every podcast, if everybody brings one extra person, we double attendance at a show. And we have a new guy out there. Trying to think of his name. Who's the new guy? It was him and his brother. Joe, do you remember?
Oh, I'm so bad with names. In our chat, he's named FNG.
Okay. FNG in their chat. But anyway, so, he showed up and he's like, dude, I wish I would have found this sooner because, as a matter of fact, and Rosa says new ladies as well. I think we had two new ladies out there. Dustin was one of the guys. But I don't think Dustin heard about it through Team Send It. The other brothers did, right? Did Dustin hear it through you guys?
No, we didn't know who Dustin was. That was a new one for us.
So, speaking of not knowing who Dustin was, what the hell, dude? Just showed up. Never competed ever before in his life.
I think he was from SAC. That's my understanding. He had Cali plates.
Oh, he did. Okay. So anyway, that kid can float a 9.9 like nobody's business.
What?
Yes. He was killing
base
it.
race and top dog? Or?
Both. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising.
Yeah.
Christopher is the new guy we were talking about. That's got the WRX, the white WRX with the red rims.
Right. Yeah, he said he goes, yeah, I think they got me as Team Send It bald guy.
What?
That's what they said. Yeah, Rosa says he killed it in Top Dog. He did, but Julio played the game appropriately and was able to take down the money. He built up 40,000 points, and just there weren't enough runs to help him catch up. But
I have to say he did well considering we slammed that in literally 15 minutes before we got there.
Oh, for Dustin?
No, for
Julio. Yeah, Julio was this little stanky, though.
Oh. What was he playing? Like 30s or 40s?
What one was he playing?
He was 39.9, yeah.
Okay.
I think he metered out at 44.
Oh, that's right, because he did do the trunk 5K class, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't remember what it was. But, yeah, so, speaking of, like I said, growing, it's been a long time. And that was my last show forever, as far as I know, at Baldini's.
Wow.
So
I thought August 10th was the next show.
that is, but that's at Palomino.
Oh,
Because
no, right.
Baldini's
Not a
already
Baldini.
has. Yep, Baldini's has. They're already booked for that day since it's hot August nights, right? Yep. Eric Hansen says playing the game is fun. It absolutely is.
Yes.
We tried to get Dana on, but she was shy, just like Eric. Eric's shy
Yeah,
too.
they're a little shy.
They're a little shy. But anyway, yeah. So we had the new guys. New guys did awesome. The other two guys, the guy and his brother, Chris, right? They did freestyle, and they kind of just wanted to go against each other in freestyle, and that was really, and they just wanted to support because they were having a blast at the shows. And I mentioned it more times than I can count on here. Is just invite somebody. It's never what they expect, and they always have a good time. So, like I said, all I can do is encourage you guys to invite people. Joe's been doing that. Somebody said that your team was actually going around to shops and inviting shops.
I don't know that was us. I think that's probably Cody Black and Josh Tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Josh. I know Josh does a lot of work trying to promote the shows with the local car clubs and the various groups around the community. I don't. I just go to work and that's it.
But we used to have to do that before Facebook events and before, all of the social media. We had to go out to shops, pass out. You guys might remember flyers, right? We had to make flyers. I remember going to the copy machine, making a ton of flyers, copying, and then just like handing them out. I think it's a little bit easier now with Facebook and all the social media, but I mean, whatever we could do to help grow, I think we still need to, get it done.
Yep.
It is easier with social media.
It is. One of the things I used to do, because, I think when I took over doing DB Drag in California, the year I took over, there was 4 shows. The year before I took over, there might have been 10 shows, and they were all in SoCal, because that's where Clay Nelson, right? Since he's down in Visalia or south of Visalia, right? Tuolumne or something down there. Tulare. He's in Tulare.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so since he was in Tulare, he would do shows all the time down south, and that would give the guys down south an opportunity to get points and whatnot. Then obviously you guys had Lee Duco, right, doing shows. Yeah. So between those,
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Between those two people, SoCal had a pretty healthy car stereo competition thing, but up north we didn't have nothing. And I would literally put flyers in stereo shops, and then I would go on a Friday night, kind of what Jeffrey's doing now, and I would just host, hey, learn what DB Drag is. Learn what a stereo competition is. Didn't charge them any money. Just come show up, and we'll see how loud your car. Yep, a test and tune. And then, we would do that for 2 weeks, and then on the next Saturday, the third Saturday, we would actually do a car show, a stereo competition. And that's how I started it, and we grew and going like that. So Dave Hansen says, it's my boo.
That's Dave Bradshaw.
Same thing.
Bradshaw. Oh, no.
Yeah, Bradshaw. No show Bradshaw popping in.
No.
Yeah, I've been wondering if Dave even knows where Reno is.
So what were some of the things you do as a team captain to grow your team or to vet people for your team, kind of a same thing?
So I'll kind of step back just a little and say, like, I've been on Team DC for a while. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I kind of missed, being on a manufacturer's team is the community, right? There's nobody out here. I didn't have anybody. I had Steve Wendell. I had a guy, Justin Appel, that I met at the makerspace that I used to do a lot of my builds and a lot of other people's builds. And so what I really wanted was I wanted kind of what Dave had set up with the test and tunes and you were just talking about. So for me, I think the single most important thing is you got to have the money. No, I'm just kidding. You got to have the attitude, right? We're trying to get people who build their own stuff, right? They're not going to a shop and having a shop do everything for them. We want people that are going to get their hands dirty, maybe different sets of skills. and, really just willing to show up on a Saturday over here at my house and just work on people's builds. It's not all about, what can you do for me, but, what can I do for the group? And so that's what we've really been focused on. And then I found that I wanted to get them to a bigger show. So I kind of convinced everybody to go to Autorama. And that was a complete mess, I gotta say. Not only did I spin out on the freeway and almost get killed, but just the builds weren't ready. They didn't know what to do in the lanes because we had spent so much time working on their builds and just getting everything dialed in with their builds that I let them down. I didn't, show them what they need to do in the lanes, what they got to do for all the different competitions and the different classes. And so that's been my focus since then. Is we do a lot on Saturdays. It's let's practice, let's do base race, let's get your frequencies down, let's figure out who needs to block where and who needs to do what. And so it's just been a lot of work just building up that team. But that's the core is I have tried to avoid the team send it assemble. I used to hear and make fun of so much when I was just repping DC alone. And so I really wanted that quality over quantity. And so I think I'm getting there. Our team is solid. They're all super great. They feel super happy coming over here. My wife cooks for them every weekend. It's my neighbors hate them.
All right, so how close are your neighbors? 6 feet away? Is it
No,
one of those?
it's not. I live out in Spanish Springs, Spark, so I'm out in a little bit of a spread out area, but I got a neighbor on my backside. He's not too bad. He'll text me and say, "Okay, is it enough? Are we done yet?" And that one's okay. The other ones just quietly hate me, and evidently my kids on the bus get to hear all about how much their parents hate me. Everybody else is pretty cool. There's a sheriff down the street, doesn't like me at all, but there's not a lot they can do. There's no sound ordinance. So other than them complaining on neighborhood app, it's all right. Rusty actually lives somewhat in the same, Rusty Flowers, the owner of DC, lives in the same neighborhood. And every once in a while, he'll write me and say, "Are they talking about you again?" Yeah.
Yeah, because they aren't talking about him. He ain't building nothing there anymore. He builds at the shop, so yeah. And that's actually not too far away from the Spanish Springs. It's a little further out on the highway, but
I
not
live
too
about
bad.
2 minutes from DC and about
Oh, is
5
that it?
high.
Oh, oh yeah, because Sky
nice.
High built their new facility out that way a few years back.
Yeah, they actually own the lot right next to DC. They just haven't got their permits yet for it. So
Right.
they're in that other warehouse facility just down the street a little further.
Okay. Yeah, I do know their intention was to buy that property next to DC, but they did actually buy it.
They did buy it. They just haven't permitted building it yet, or some hold up there.
Yeah. Well, weird. Hold up on something in government? Wow, that's odd.
It's like, what more do you need, though? I mean, you got, DC and you got Sky High. You could use that to attract more people.
The funny thing is when I got into this and I ordered my first set, I did all this research, right? Sundown, DC, what brand do I want to go with? I had no idea DC was a local Nevada brand. I ordered my first set of DC subs from Sky High, which I was actually shocked. I was Googling it one day. I was like, where can I pick up a DSP locally? And I think there's all these crappy shops in town and a couple of decent ones. And it's like Sky High on Deming Way. And I'm like, that's got to be one of those Google ads that like tricks you and tells you it's local, but it's not. And so I just drive over there and I'm like, oh, it is here. So I started going there quite a bit. Locals get a little discount. It's nice.
Oh,
They
okay.
ship. So yeah, I ended up going to Sky High quite a bit. I'm first name basis with all those guys over there. And then lo and behold, I got my DC subs in and I see it's on Distribution Way. And I'm like, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So then I start talking to them, but this is during COVID and you can't go into their shop. It's got this sign up that says, not open to the public because of COVID. Somehow or another, I got talking to Justin Hinkie, and then anything I ordered, he just kind of drop at my house on his way home.
How's that for
Cool,
customer
yeah,
service?
exactly,
Right. No,
yeah.
and I will say DC by far, their customer service. I mean, I think Moses can attest. Moses went down there. We went down Sunday after the show. So Saturday, spent the night over here. And Sunday morning, we went over to DC. He, Rusty and Justin pulled out the vehicles, gave him some demos. Him and Rosa, I think they got their first DC sub. And it was pretty cool. But that's that customer service that you just don't get at most places.
Yep. So how you got involved? What was your first show? Like you said, you would go to a show and you see DC assemble. So what was your first show then?
So it's kind of funny. So your podcast actually got me super interested in audio, and I was
Oh,
seeing
Oh,
Lucky
cool.
McGovern all over Facebook and doing his lives and all of that, and I wanted nothing more than to meet Lucky. Which is weird because now that I know him, it's like Lucky. But at the same time, I was so excited to meet Lucky, and so I was browsing Facebook, and there was a show. I think it was an IASCA show in Fresno. And I told my wife I had no idea about anything car audio. I'm like, I want to go to a show, and there's this audio comp, and it's only 5 hours away. Like, I'm gonna go. They don't have these things ever, and I thought it was like this huge deal. So I went the night before, stayed in Fresno, ended up going to the show. I got a couple awards. I did pretty good. I met Angelo Trujillo right there, and Angelo was awesome. Met Chris Jenner.
hmm
Anthony Caps, and they were awesome right from the gate. And so, I told them like I'm all DC. I want to be on Team DC. I had no idea they weren't the gatekeepers for that. Well, I'm like, talking to them for months, and then, they're giving me pointers on my build stuff, and I think they came over a couple times. But it was really cool. But Angelo really pushed DB Drag, and I'm like, what is DB Drag? And I think you remember I went to a DB Drag show maybe 2 weeks later in Sacramento, and he's like, all right, you got to get in here and do base race. I had no clue what I was doing with base race. I'm like, what is this? I didn't have music ready, nothing. He coached me through it, and I think I did super terrible uh, and bombed out. But hey, that same year, I ended up getting world champion for the West Coast
Yeah.
in that very same event.
Yep. Rosa says thanks for taking him to there. Bradshaw. Bradshaw says, I realized you're not so lucky to meet Lucky. I sure in the hell hope you're tagging Lucky in this, Dave.
Lucky's a good guy. He's a good guy.
No, he's a
Turns out
good
my
dude.
brother actually knows him really well.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, so your first show, and then so your first DB drag show, probably at Mello's Auto, right?
No, it was at Lunsford's.
Oh, Lunsford's Customs.
Yep.
Okay. And then so for you, you know, you were doing you started first Iasca, then went to DB Drag. Um, you guys, so did you kind of stay with one or kind of bounce between the two
No,
or what?
I definitely stayed more DB drag than anything. I liked the Iasca, but the Iasca shows were a little further away for me.
Mm.
Anytime I could get lucky and find a show that was both, like Battle of the Bay, I'd definitely go there. Honestly, I think Battle of the Bay is one of my favorite venues. It's just such an awesome show. The
Mhm.
weather's nice. You got all the lowriders there. It's just such a great venue. So
Mhm.
bounced around a little bit that first year. I don't think I had an Iasca membership, but I had a DB drag membership right away. Yeah, jumped in, pretty much didn't miss a DB drag show. I think you'll remember that first show, that first year. Like I was there
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. And, Lucky obviously was the points getter for that year because Lucky was there at every show all year long, at that time. So,
But Moses didn't do too bad either that first
no,
year.
he
I
did
remember
not.
the first show that Moses came to, and he parked it was a Reno show, and he parked way at the other end of the parking lot, like all by himself. It was just him and Rosa. And me and Steve were like, well, let's go over there and talk to this guy. Like, why is he way over there? And so we went over there and started talking to him. And I mean, I think he started the same year as me, and we just hit it off right away. And Moses and Rosa, they've been my number ones for a long time.
As a matter of fact, Rosa says in here, Joe is one of the realest and knowledgeable guys out there. Very hospitable as well. He is one
Cool.
we held on to. That's what he said.
Which is hilarious because Moses is now like nationwide.
Yeah,
Uh,
worldwide
I'm in
sometimes.
I'm in another team as well, which is Team Smoking Lows, and it's a lot of people from all over the United States, like Colton Talley. Rory got me into that. He's one of my teammates, and it's funny because I'm sitting there talking to Moses on Sunday morning, and somebody says something. And he's like, "Oh, I know Colton," and so I post a picture of me and Moses on the couch, and yeah, everybody in this group from all over the United States knows Moses
Yeah.
and Rosa.
Oh, you mean Roydy, as your
Yeah,
daughter
Rory
kept saying.
Harms.
Roydy Arms, yeah.
And he works hard for that. Let him wear no shirt.
He
That's all right.
does. Oh, he was wearing no shirt all day at the show. Eric
Oh, I think I
Hansen.
saw a picture of
Oh,
that
you
on
didn't?
the trophy. No, I did in
Oh,
the
in the
trophy.
trophies, yes.
Or when you guys did the awards, I was like, why is
Yes.
this guy not wearing a shirt?
Yeah,
I just thought it was so hot.
we like to joke. We like to joke about it. He's like a girl with brand new boobs. Like he just wants to show them off.
There's a guy in SoCal, Rosa knows because she took a bunch of pictures of him, but he likes to take his shirt off too. I think it's Abel Cisneros from Mexico. He likes to go to shows and take his shirt off. So I kind of know what you mean.
So this leads a segue. Hold on, wait, real quick. Rosa said she posted some pics. She's calling him No Shirt Rory. And Eric says, yeah, they're famous. Rosa says, yes, you're right, it's Abel.
Yeah.
And then this pulls up the next thing is Eric Hansen, E-Box, one of our sponsors, says, what's in the wagon behind you, TSI Joe?
Yeah, I was dying to answer that question as soon as I saw it. So I had a Buick before. The Buick just would not get loud. I rebuilt that probably 5 times my first year. I threw everything I could at it, and it just would not get loud. I could not break a 150. So finally, I just got tired of it, and I said, all right, I want to do a big build that's just going to crush. So me and Steve Wendell built a pretty amazing Durango, which, not to toot my own horn, but that has been around in the DC family for a long time. Ben Wynn used to run it, and he used to be doing 63s just back in 2014. Like, this thing was a beast. So we built that, and I learned a really valuable lesson. It's don't take a piece of crap vehicle and turn it into an audio vehicle and throw $20,000 in it, and then the engine's just not going to last. So I've always loved Dodge Magnums, so I decided to pick up this one right here. I got it for $300. It was broke down on the side of the road with no title. Put a brand new power plant in it, so it's got the V8 Hemi. I put a new transmission, all new suspension, and then I started building the audio. And so it's got a Brand X 475 large case running back to a 43.5 skip bank, 2 7.5K DC audios on 4 Neos at, don't listen, Rusty, 0.25.
Quarter ohm.
No.
Is that so? What type of setup do you have? Is it a wall? Is it no wall? Or
it's a wall
orders?
6th order.
Sixth
So
order.
it's a Series 6. It's my first Series 6. And I absolutely love it. I'm due to rebuild because I didn't do my measurements super well. So my box actually sits like 7 inches off of the body in the back, and it's like completely suspended by what I call a 2x4 rack. But I will rebuild it eventually, but it's doing pretty good. This last show I freestyled at 159.3. So I think I got the 0.7 that I can gain between now and surf. So I'm pretty excited to hit my first 160 in this thing.
There you go. Jose Ramos Sr. wants to know, hey, what did I miss? What you missed is that your son's going to be doing the show this weekend at Mello's Auto Repair in Sacramento. This is going to be like his first DB drag he's going to do. I got a family reunion, so I'll be in Reno myself. Eric Hansen says, yeah, the Rosa and Moses are famous. She says, not famous, just lucky to travel and meet all the cool people like you. Julio, Chivo, Chavez, Caesar, Montanez, whatever, how many names he probably has, says yo, yo, yo.
I'm trying.
Another
Rosa.
tagline, wasn't it?
I'm trying.
That's right. So Rosa, you going to do that, Joe? I'm guessing.
I think she means surf.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
Yeah,
surf, you guys planning on going as Team Send It or what?
It probably won't be a huge show out from Team Send It. Rory might come this year. You guys know Damon Toole with the excursion with the 3 Neos. So me and him went up last year. It was our first time. Had a blast. It was so much fun. I got my wife to go. She loved it. So trying to go this year, but it's been a rough year for me. So finally just getting caught up financially after switching jobs pretty early this year. And so hopefully I'm going to make it. My wife says no. Damon says, come on. You can ride with us, whatever. So I'm trying to be there.
All right. We canceled the show in Reno for that show. So our August show just happened to run the same weekend as Surf, so we had to cancel the Reno show this year, which would have been our last show in Reno.
Wait, is there not a show on August 10th? I'm very confused.
No, there is.
Okay.
August 17th was when I was supposed to do a show in Reno to
Got it.
stay with our third weekend of the month type thing that we do. But the
Message her directly, Rosa, please.
what do you say? Oh, Rosa says, "Come on, please,
please.
Natalie."
Natalie, there's a casino there.
There's a casino there. Like
We
there's
live in
somebody from
Reno.
Reno. Yeah, like they care.
Oh, duh.
I think it's good sushi will get her there.
But it's by the beach, so that should be
That's
pretty,
right.
pretty good.
I tricked her with that last year. By the
okay.
beach in Oregon when it's freezing isn't a huge selling point.
Not a huge selling point, huh? Yeah. Rosa says she will. She'll text her.
Hmm.
Lewis TVC. What's up, people? Just landed in KC. Get to tune in for a bit.
Hey.
That's about 5 hours from where my house is. Actually signed the final
Oh.
papers today. So we're supposed to start building foundation a week from today. So starting to dig foundation. So
Oh, there was a
Congratulations.
competitor at the last Crossfire Grapevine show
uh-huh.
that drove down from Wichita, Kansas.
Oh,
And yeah, it did demos, sat in a bunch of cars, and I was telling him, you're gonna have a DB drag judge there pretty soon, so just be on the lookout.
so but no, I mean, like I said, that's awesome. I will say the Team Send It guys, at least in Reno, they kind of roll in together. So there's nobody at my show, then there's a lot of people at my show because they don't just come by themselves. They come as a support team too. There was probably
That's cool.
5 cars at the show that weren't even there to compete. They were just there to hang out.
And we had more competitors. They just a couple of them got food poisoning like a couple hours before, but you're gonna see that continue to grow because we've got thing 1 and thing 2. It's a couple, and
Oh, okay.
she absolutely loved competing. She jumped in there
Top
on
Dog.
base race
She
and
jumped
Top
in
Dog.
Top Dog, yep.
She absolutely
Oh,
loves it.
wow.
So she's joined the team now.
Yep.
She's
Lady
super excited. No,
Dragon
not
Fire? No?
No, this is Rihanna,
Oh, okay.
Zach's wife. But she's absolutely just laser focused. Like we practiced at my house for like 2 hours, and she was just like boom, 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 boom. And I think she took first or maybe second at that first comp, but
Okay.
she was looking forward to it, and she was bummed she missed it. And then Lady Dragonfire is new as well. Yeah, she that was a little bit of a bait and switch. So he's been having trouble getting his audio stuff approved, and he's like, "Hey, she wants to compete. Go coach her." And so we just did that right off the cuff, and she loved it.
Yeah, she jumped in the car. Husband, boyfriend, I'm not sure what their relationship is, but so she's all, "Hey, can I just try this once?" I'm like, "Hey, yeah, you know what? Julio or somebody was running their run, doing their qualifying. And just run it while he's doing his. It won't count towards anything, but you can still run it and see how well you do." And then I let her do it one more time as another practice, and her eyes were all lit up. So that was fun. I go, no. That was what they call practice. It's fun when you have somebody next to you and it means something. And so somebody in the crowd talked her into joining in Top Dog, and she did pretty good. She
Fair
busted.
place.
Yeah, she did pretty good. She, first time competitor. So Dustin was second place, first time competitor.
wow.
Lady Dragonfire, second place or third place, first time competitor. So yeah, so I mean, as we talk about all the time on here, is you don't have to spend a ton of money and be a seasoned veteran to win Top Dog or base race.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that build is actually it's one DC M4 and a DC 2K.
Okay. Let's see. Let's make Dallas schedule opposite of Doug Stockton's schedule next season. Eric's saying something about he wants to travel. We'll have to see
Yeah,
what
he
next
actually
season
drove down 3 hours. We all did 3 hours south of Dallas
To
to
Anita?
Texas heat wave in
Yeah.
Austin. where he actually got to compete, and we all kind of did, and we had fun going out there.
Did Wayne and Sleece by any chance make it out there?
Oh yeah, yeah, they were
Oh,
there. Got a
cool.
chance to talk to them for a while. They were all pretty laid back in their Tommy Bahama shirts, and of course, Sleece wasn't able to stay too long,
Right.
to be under the sun.
Right.
But they brought their RV and their truck, and they loaded me down with a bunch of giveaways to give away at my shows.
Awesome.
But yeah, they came by and said what's up, talked to a couple of the vendors and stuff like that.
Julio says this would be Team Chivo or Team Send It Chivo for you guys that don't know Julio. Says felt good to hop in the base race lanes again. Eric Hansen says 6 hours. It ain't that far
Was it 6 hours?
to Wichita.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like basically going from Sacramento or Stockton to LA, right? About the same.
Hmm.
I think it's 5.5 hours from my house, and it's like another 45 minutes north to Sacramento. So, about LA to Sacramento distance.
Hmm.
So,
It's closer than Reno to Vegas.
a little bit by 3 hours one way.
About an hour and a half, but yeah.
Well, you drive it differently than I do. And then there's cops on that way that they
Right.
just wait for you to pull into a town, and they literally sit there, and that's how they make their living, is by pulling people over going through their town, because they
You've
know
been through Tonopah, huh?
oh they know nobody's coming back there to go to court. They're just gonna
Dang.
pay it and be good with it. But yeah, no, and there's like 5 little towns, not just Tonopah, but 5 little towns as you're going through too. That
There's only 5 towns between Reno and Vegas.
and the thing is you're going 80-ish as you're coming, and then all of a sudden you start seeing signs, and within like a quarter mile it goes from 80 to 25,
Jeez.
and
You
then
don't
there's
go
a
a
cop.
mile over, or you're
Yep.
getting pulled over.
Yep, 26, you're getting pulled over. So just a little hint for people driving on the back roads in Reno or Nevada, in between towns. That's how they make their money.
So Eric asked if I top dog. I do top dog. I'm very hit and miss on how well I do on it. I think I took first at surf last year, but I had to play the points game and a little bit of chess with Frankie, who is very experienced at it. And so I just went ahead and did the tie bust kind of. He just yeah, I cheated him on that one, but you got to do what you got to do. And I still remember vividly winning my very first top dog in Sacramento, which was the one where the guy got shot and ran to the show, and
Oh
all the
yeah.
cops and the paramedics were there, and all you hear on the video is Doug trying to finish the show and me jump out of the car like I just won top dog.
Oh, speaking of which, hey, Anita Salas says, hey, just stopping by to say hi. Stay safe, stay loud. Happy birthday, Jeff. Speaking
Thanks,
of which, yeah.
Yeah, she was out there. Her and her husband,
Uh-huh.
Gilbert. They were running the DB drag out there in Texas heat wave, and
Yeah.
man, they're troopers because it was pretty hot out there for sure.
One of these times we'll get her on here. She's always busy. But yeah, and I mean it's heat wave for a reason, right?
Exactly.
You're in South Texas
But they
in the
do
middle
that
of summer.
every year.
Yeah.
They're like seasoned veterans when it comes to heat waves. So we were there for our first time. Well, I was there a couple years ago, but because of COVID or something, they moved it to another location, and all I heard was, yeah, heat wave in where they are now it's just miserable. It's hot, but luckily this year wasn't too bad. It was definitely hot, but there was some cloud coverage. It actually rained later on that evening on Sunday, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't as bad as people said it was.
Okay. Eric Hansen, will you be at finals, Joe?
I'll probably go. I don't actually have a DB Drag membership this year. I'm really not competing anymore. I just kind of am supporting the team and trying to build that audio community. I'll probably go back to it next year and go hard again, like Moses. But trying to get my daughter into the lanes. She competed her first base race here at the last show. She was super upset at me because Julio showed up and I needed to work on his build as opposed to practice with her, like I've been saying for 3 years I was going to do. But yeah, so my daughter Ash will be probably the one competing at most of the shows that I go to because she's my road dog that's usually with me.
Yep. Rosa puts in there. Don't forget Ashley. She did really good. She did really good as well in base race. Looking forward to seeing her more in the lanes. I mean, yeah. So we had Rosa, we had Ashley, we had Lady Dragonfire. We had 3 ladies competing at this show. Base Queen, um, Sean's wife, Janet.
Janet.
Yep. Janet was supposed to come, but they couldn't make it. I don't know what happened, but she was texting me, "Hey, how late can I be there?" and this and that stuff. And when we were at Baldini's, we have a hard stop. So that was the agreement with us there. That's why we started 3 p.m. instead of 6. So we have a hard stop. So anyways, I mean, you got that, and then the other lady that Joe was just talking about earlier. Who were you saying? That
Lady Dragonfire?
No, the other one.
Ash, my daughter?
No, not Ash, the other girl that you said.
Rihanna.
Rihanna, yes. And he said Rihanna. So I mean, look, that's just a little bit. You have what's her name in Brandy out in Sacramento that competes here and there, right? So I mean, we're starting to get quite a few ladies involved in the DB drag base race gang.
Yeah, we got one more. She hasn't made it yet, but Carla, she's Team Send It Carla, and she'll be at some shows here coming up.
Yep. And so let's get back to the team thing. So what's your ultimate goal for the team? Do you have like a mission statement type thing, or?
No, I want to get them to pay dues. That's the next step, so we can sponsor shows. Because we all know in Reno, like if it's a 1X, it's going to get maybe a handful of people from SAC. But if we can get this to a 2X with Moses around, maybe even a 3X, I think that's our next goal is right, is getting into that point where we can upgrade those shows and draw more competition. I really want these guys to start hitting SAC shows at least, get across the hill. I think there's a lot of fun in that. There's a lot of great community, getting to know people. So that's my goal, is to kind of get them all moving and get them traveling a little bit more and not just showing up for a Reno show.
Zach Cribb.
Hopefully not getting stuck in Sacramento at Dave Bradshaw's house, though. I wouldn't mind showing him how Nevada plays dominoes again.
Zach Cribb chiming in with we can have Ash practice with Rihanna. So, but yeah, Autorama. You guys got to bed a little late after Saturday night, and
no, we didn't get to bed at all because Julio was in the room, and he is called the Snorlax for a reason.
Dude,
oh no! But
that boy can saw some logs.
That's why he was the only one who made it back on Sunday, because he must have been asleep.
I made it too, but Ash was on me the whole time about going to see the cars at Autorama, so didn't get in the lanes on Sunday. Instead, we went and checked out the cars.
There you go. Yeah, so we will have Autorama again next year, obviously. Julio with the LOLs. Yeah, but we will have Autorama again next year. I could find out what the date is, but it's usually either the last weekend of May or the first weekend of April. Oh, no, sorry. Last weekend of April, first weekend of May. So that's when it's always going to be. They moved it to that for the weather. And it rained like crazy on Saturday. Right? Yeah. Saturday. Sunday was gorgeous weather if people weren't still in bed.
They came for the bad weather and not for the good weather.
And stayed for the party. That was a good time. I'm sure you guys had a great time. Like I said, Autorama is like one of my favorite shows. Mostly, I think, because I built it into what it becomes, right? And there's a lot of people that travel from all over the country to come to Autorama, want to fly in, want to compete. We had probably close to 100 cars parked in the parking lot there on Saturday. That was phenomenal.
With all that rain, that's crazy.
Yeah, and with the shitey weather, as they say, it was pretty nasty. So anyway, so what's your other? So you want them to pay dues eventually, which will help sponsor shows. But I mean, do you guys have like certain requirements that you want to be team sended? What are the requirements, whatnot?
Yeah, so really the requirements are you gotta be hands-on. We want people that can build, whether your skills are in one thing or another. We're just, it's all about we're gonna do that work. So every one of those builds that you see, we put together as a team. We all put hands on it. We work really hard together and we work really well together. And you gotta want to enjoy the barbecue that we're gonna have because Natalie's gonna be cooking. But really, it's all about personality. I don't care if you're a 160 like Callan has got a truck that's just will choke you up with those 60s all day. But at the same time, you can be rocking 1.8 and barely able to do 129.9. It's all about your personality, and it's all about do you fit with the group. We did decide we are going to pump the brakes and we are going to hold here where we are and not continue to grow too quickly. So we want to make sure everybody's a good fit. So Chris joining up is the last one we're going to accept at least for this season. And we're just going to work on our builds and work on our teammates and get our teamwork down. Team set and assemble.
Yeah, and so one of the things also about teams, not exclusively to Team Send It, but Team Send It is a very good example of it. If you are new to a show, I can typically tell you, hey, look, there's Team Send It guys. They can help you decide base race, top dog, understand how to do it. While I'm running the show, I can send you to those guys. And in all reality, the reason I even do that is to help build the community. I want them to know you guys as competitors. I want them to know you outside of just being a competitor, right? It's not just that's my adversary. This is somebody who loves the same thing I do, and we're going to do it, whether I'm on the team with them or not. That's
absolutely. And that goes, if you're in the Reno area or you're in Northern Nevada and you need help, you reach out to me. I'll spend time with you on Term Lab. I'll help you figure out what's going on with your build. I have no problem at all helping people. I actually love to help people.
Yep. Julio says, and you have to be sending equipment.
Yeah, send it.
I don't know about that.
And Dave says he was hung the F over.
He was just sore because he lost.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he talked a big game about dominoes and how Kelly can just whoop dominoes. And I got to tell you, I took him to school.
So I'm not disparaging Chemo in any way with this comment. So I've known Chemo a long time. When I was competing, Chemo was competing. So as I became a judge, we were doing some stuff. Oh, Dave, right there, already at it. Rematch.
Figure out where Reno is.
It's outside of your yard. Anyway, so Chemo kept telling me about how him and all the Team Basic guys would go and they would play poker, and they were all these badass poker players and whatever. So they came over to my house. Well, about 2 hours later, they were Team Broke Basic. So, but it was a good time. We played some cards. We had a good time. But there's a reason people stopped coming over my house to play poker against me. So I used to have a monthly game at my house, $50 buy-in. I would supply I'd barbecue up steaks. And so I'd supply barbecued steaks, barbecued potatoes, grilled up with, put in foil, rubbed with butter and garlic salt and some chives,
Of course, because it just paid for itself by
it
all the winnings from the previous month.
It absolutely did pay for itself. But, hey, for $50, you got to hang out and, and eat some good food.
You got Doug Rounders Stockton over here.
I wonder if you could do that with your, club meetings. Have a buy-in and then just base race, and the winner takes all. It'll get them smarten up really quick.
Julio says or Dave Bradshaw says Julio sucks at dominoes, at bones. It ain't bowling time yet. I'm not bowling on Mondays during the summer. So,
Modelo time, David, is not exceptionally good either. But if you come to
oh,
Reno, if you come to Reno, just prepare to get schooled because I got to tell you, I'm good. My wife is pretty much as good.
so do you play? You don't play doubles in dominoes, do you?
No,
Everybody's their own
Oh.
train, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, all you gotta do is
we
equal
did play
fit
teams
5.
that night,
Oh, okay. You gotta equal 5,
but my
and
wife's too competitive. She won't play teams.
because you ain't good enough for her.
She just likes to win when she can.
Oh. My wife and I play cribbage almost every
What?
night. Yeah, cribbage. Uh,
Showing your age.
I know.
Yeah, what is that?
Dave Bradshaw says 1-on-1 he'll bury you. Come to
Figure out,
daddy.
figure out where Reno
Ooh.
is.
So yeah, we play cribbage and we play spades and we play what's the other game? Oh, rummy. And man, and then when we play another game, it's like competitive solitaire, where you get to play on each other's aces, and the first one out of cards wins. But anyway, we play that. My wife is super competitive. If she loses, she has got a bad attitude.
Oh.
But, and when she wins, her attitude's not bad at all. She keeps on giving me you do realize if you beat me, you ain't touching me tonight. So I get that one all the time.
Whoa. Sleeping on the couch, huh?
Yeah, the sleep on the couch. Get away.
I just got to say, this is how confused Dave is.
Uh-huh.
Reno is east. It's not north.
He says, I'm
Coming
coming north
north."
soon. I had my mini vacation. I got my recharge. Dude, it might even be a little bit south of Sacramento. It's definitely not north. But yeah, no, I mean, he could show up August 10th, huh?
Yeah.
And do some base race against the Northern Nevada versus Tennessee, right? Oh, Dave Bradshaw says that's the reason he lost to you, Joe, is because he said if he won, you wouldn't let him touch you tonight. That's
You
right.
showed with that too, Dave.
I know, that's what he said. Julio says he ain't going to Reno. He's a no-show. Wow. And he used to be the president of that Team Send It thing. So, all right. I mean, we're running up on the hour. We're getting pretty dang close. I do have a question for you, other than what our normal one is, but I kind of like this. Also, what is the legacy that you would like to leave behind?
Community. Yeah, I just, I think in general people can't say anything negative about me. I make my payments on time, and I'm willing to help anybody, whether you're the person I like the least or the person I like the most.
There you go. Jeffrey, you want to hit him with our questions? With the question?
Yeah, sure. All right, Joe. So I'm sure you've seen the podcast a couple of times. This is a question that we ask all of our guests. Basically, we want to know, what is your definition of a basehead?
Yeah, it's everybody that's, just loves to turn it up. Just turn it up and space out. For me, bass is it's the thing I'm gonna do right after work. It's gonna get me home. It's gonna clear my mind. And when I'm not feeling too good, I can hop in my car and annoy my neighbors. And yeah. So I mean, a bass head is just whether you're loud or whether you're not loud. If you love it, you're a bass head.
Yes,
There you go.
I agree.
If you don't want to hear your wife talk and you'd rather turn it up, you're a bass head.
Hey, we seen a video like that. Right, Jeff? Isn't that what he does to his wife in that video?
Yeah, so there's this video that
Dinosaur Jr.?
a lot of people kind of say that it's therapy to them, right? And that's not a lie. It's true to some people. And there's this rock group, I guess. did a music video where they were kind of doing just that. There was this guy who just kind of found these bass competitions. He brought literature home, started building up his system, and then just found it as therapy. And it was kind of funny. They threw a little couple of jabs and stuff in there, but it's exactly what it is. I'll link the YouTube video on the comments here so people can check it out. It's always fun to watch.
It drives my wife absolutely nuts, but at the end of the day, if you want to talk, let's take the Jeep. If you get in my car, probably not going to be talking too much.
All right. How do people get a hold of you, or if they want to follow you, where do they find all this?
Just Joseph Riney on Facebook. I'm old. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on. Well, I think I have a TikTok. It's DC Battleborn, but I don't even know. I think some Chinese people hacked it or something. Maybe the Russians. I don't know.
Rosa. Rosa says she's coming around.
Start messaging her, Rosa. We need all the help we can get.
All right, Jeffrey, what do you got going on?
I got a show going on this Saturday in Grapevine, Texas at Crossfire headquarters. It's going to be another late 6 p.m. start time, which is hopefully going to work out in these summer months. So yeah, all the details are on dbdragracing.com/calendar for all the details. And we all know that points cutoff is just around the corner, coming up September 22nd. I've had a lot of people tell me that they want to get more shows going so they can start getting their points and qualify for finals. So definitely, if you guys were ever going to hit the shows, come to the next couple of shows before the points cutoff, get your points, so you're good to go. Definitely be on top of DB Drag Racing announcements. Check out the website. They got ways where you could save on finals, ways where you might not have to travel as much and get as many points to qualify for a World's Finals invite. So definitely a great resource. Yeah, definitely check them out.
Yep. So I will be in Reno myself this weekend. Family reunion, bowling tournament. I gotta find a way to sneak out of the family reunion for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, so I can go hit the lanes, make some dollars. I mean, I gotta pay for my trip to Reno, right? And then, but Jose Ramos Jr. and Sr. are going to be at Mello's Auto Repair this weekend. They're going to be hosting the DB Drag there. It's to kind of get him his push to get him started to becoming a DB Drag certified judge, so he can do.
He's done shows before, though, right?
Not DB Drag shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's done one DB Drag show previously. So he's learning how to, he's going to start doing DB Drag shows. We're going to try and get him 2X certified before I leave the state so that he can be a 2X certified judge. We're working on somebody down in Fresno area too, Ricky or Moses or something. As a 2X judge, you can still compete and be a judge. You just can't be 3X certified. You'll have to fly in Jeffrey or myself to do 3X events if that's what you want to do. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and since Jose is relatively new, you guys are there for the first time, or you guys been seasoned competitors. Be nice to him. Okay, he might make a call that's kind of questionable. Hey, we all make mistakes, and we're all easily approachable and stuff like that. If we ever have a question, we call each other. And then just get clarification on stuff. So, be gentle.
And Jose's got my number and I'm available,
Exactly. Yeah.
Take notes on that, Doug. Like you don't want people getting judged by Jeff and having to cut their port out at nationals.
Yeah, that's on me. That's on me. I believed it was a accurate thing, and then through talking through all of our judges, we decided I was in the wrong. Doesn't happen often. It does not happen often, I will say.
Never going to let you forget it.
I know. I know. And you guys, I mean, for the people that don't know, that the reason I have continued to do DB Drag for this long and as a judge is I don't ever want to take the opportunity away from somebody, Joseph, winning his ring.
Exactly.
You know, Josh T.W.I.C.A hasn't won a ring yet, but I didn't want to be the guy that I just disappeared and ended the stereo competition with, something he loves and he can't reach the pinnacle of it because there's nobody here to help him. So that's
Well, send that love
truly.
to Josh because I think he'll be back in the lane soon.
He will.
He's had a rough year too, and
Yep.
it's nothing but love for Josh.
Yeah. So hopefully we get him back out here. But as far as me, like I said, we got Melo's Auto, Jose Ramos and Senior and Junior will be running that. That'll be on Saturday the 27th. I will be in Reno for the family reunion. Then the following Saturday morning, we're going to be at Jay's Alarms for my final show at the place where I did my first show. So looking forward to that. I'm going to try and get Jay on here next week to talk about it. I think he was talking about adding $1,500 to the winner of Deathmatch.
Wow.
So just saying.
Natalie's in Alaska until Monday, so I probably will go to SAC this weekend.
Rosa wants to know if Joe's going to come to SAC this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll probably just run over the hill.
and
I, unlike Dave, know how to get over that hill. I'm gonna head south?
Is it south? Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. But like I said, so we'll do Jay's Alarms. After that, we'll be in Reno, Tennessee versus Nevada. We'll be doing that on Saturday, August 10th. We'll have a 3 p.m. start on our time. That way it's 5 p.m. on their time, and we can get done, and it's not midnight their time when we're done. So we'll be at Palomino Tires, location that Josh helped hook up, and I believe Josh is going to be there for that event. He did tell me he will be there. So looking forward to that. That's awesome. And as you guys know, August, I got 4 shows in August, and then September, I don't have anything currently booked until September 21st and 22nd, which will be a multi-venue with Texas and Tennessee and California. And then on Sunday will be the 3X, last day to get points, time to get certified score, get ready for World Finals.
Hey, Doug, run my points. Maybe I'll come to finals.
We can look at that when we're done with the podcast. We'll look at that. So, all right, guys. Other than that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys being here. Want to thank our sponsors, eBox Design and Install, Stolman Transport LLC, and Bass Badass Sounds by Steve. If you guys get an opportunity to support somebody that supports the show that you guys like. And if you do use them, please let them know that you're doing it because you're supporting their support of the car audio community and T.W.I.C.A. If you guys get an opportunity, like or join my TikTok and my Instagram. I'm trying to figure out how Instagram works. So far, it's not doing very well. I can't move videos from TikTok to Instagram. It keeps giving me an error, so I got to figure that out. But other than that, I want to tell you guys once again, thank you for being part of our show. Thank you, Joe. Great job. Jeffrey, yes. Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next week on This Week in Car Audio, 5:30 California time, the only time that matters. Peace. Whoa, whoa.